Spetsnaz has been involved in many conflicts, including the Soviet-Afghan War, the Chechen Wars, and the Syrian Civil War. They have proven themselves to be a very effective force, and they are considered to be one of the best special forces units in the world. Here are some of the reasons why Spetsnaz is considered to be so strong. Rigorous training. Spetsnaz undergo rigorous training that lasts for months or even years. This training covers a variety of aspects, including close quarters combat, airborne operations, and special operations, advanced equipment and weapons. Spetsnaz is equipped with advanced equipment and weapons that give them an edge over their enemies. Effectiveness in combat. Spetsnaz has proven to be effective in combat, and they have been involved in many conflicts. Here are some examples of Spetsnaz's successes in combat. Soviet-Afghan War. Spetsnaz played a key role in the Soviet-Afghan War, which lasted from 1979 to 1989. They were responsible for several important operations, including the initial Soviet invasion of Afghanistan. On December 27, 1979, Spetsnaz forces stormed the Taj Beg Palace in Kabul, the capital of Afghanistan. The assault successfully overthrew the pro-Soviet government and established a new government backed by the Soviets. Counterinsurgency operations. Spetsnaz conducted various counterinsurgency operations in Afghanistan. They were often sent to remote areas to fight Mujahideen guerrillas. Hostage rescue operations. Spetsnaz conducted several hostage rescue operations in Afghanistan. One of the most famous operations was the hostage rescue operation of an Aeroflot plane, hijacked by Mujahideen guerrillas in 1985. Spetsnaz proved to be very effective in combat in Afghanistan. They had excellent training and equipment, and they had experience fighting in mountainous terrain. Spetsnaz was responsible for many important victories for the Soviets in the war. However, Spetsnaz also suffered heavy losses in the war. Many Spetsnaz members were killed or wounded in combat. Spetsnaz was also often criticized for their use of violence against Afghan civilians. Spetsnaz played a key role in the Soviet-Afghan War, conducting several important operations, including the initial invasion, counterinsurgency operations, and hostage rescue operations. They were effective in combat, but also suffered heavy losses. Chechen Wars. Spetsnaz played a key role in the Chechen Wars, which lasted into separate conflicts from 1994 to 1996 and from 1999 to 2009. They were responsible for several important operations, including counterinsurgency operations. Spetsnaz conducted various counterinsurgency operations in Chechnya. They were often sent to remote areas to fight Chechen rebels. Spetsnaz forces in Chechnya. Hostage rescue operations. Spetsnaz conducted several hostage rescue operations in Chechnya. One of the most famous operations was the hostage rescue operation at a hospital in Udyanovsk, which was seized by Chechen terrorists in 1995. Assassination operations. Spetsnaz was also responsible for the assassination of several Chechen rebel leaders, including Dzhokha or Dudayev, the first president of the Chechen Republic of Ichkeria. Spetsnaz proved to be very effective in combat in Chechnya. They had excellent training and equipment, and they had experience fighting in mountainous terrain. Spetsnaz was responsible for many important victories for Russia in the war. However, Spetsnaz also suffered heavy losses in the war. Many Spetsnaz members were killed or wounded in combat. Spetsnaz was also often criticized for their use of violence against Chechen civilians. Overall, Spetsnaz played a key role in the Chechen Wars. They were a key factor in Russia's victory in the war. Spetsnaz played a key role in the Chechen Wars, conducting several important operations, including counterinsurgency operations, hostage rescue operations, and assassination operations. They were effective in combat, but also suffered heavy losses. Syrian Civil War. Spetsnaz have been involved in the Syrian Civil War since the beginning of the war in 2011. They have played a key role in supporting Syrian government forces in the fight against rebels and terrorist groups. Spetsnaz have been involved in a variety of operations in Syria, including counterinsurgency operations. Spetsnaz have conducted various counterinsurgency operations in Syria. They are often sent to remote areas to fight rebels. Spetsnaz forces in Syria, humanitarian aid operations. Spetsnaz have also been involved in humanitarian aid operations in Syria. They have helped in the evacuation of civilians from conflict areas and in the delivery of aid to war-torn regions. Counter-terrorism operations. Spetsnaz have also been involved in counter-terrorism operations in Syria. They have helped in fighting terrorist groups such as ISIS and Al-Qaeda. Spetsnaz have proven to be very effective in combat in Syria. They have excellent training and equipment, and they have experience fighting in urban and rural areas. Spetsnaz have been responsible for many key victories for the Syrian government in the war. However, Spetsnaz have also suffered heavy losses in the war. Many Spetsnaz members have been killed or wounded in combat. Spetsnaz have also been criticized for their use of violence against Syrian civilians. Overall, Spetsnaz have played a key role in the Syrian Civil War. They have been a key factor in the victory of the Syrian government in the war. Overall, Spetsnaz is a very strong and effective special forces unit. They have proven themselves to be a very capable force, and they are considered to be one of the best special forces units in the world. Spetsnaz is a very powerful and effective special forces unit. They have been trained in a variety of fields, including close quarters combat, airborne operations, and special operations. They also have access to advanced equipment and weapons. Spetsnaz has been involved in many conflicts, including the Soviet-Afghan War, the Chechen Wars, and the Syrian Civil War. They have proven themselves to be a very effective force, and they are considered to be one of the best special forces units in the world.